So today we're going to be talking about different secrets that some people may or may not know with the Nissan Z. So the first thing may be obvious to some, it's with the key fob. So if you unlock the car and you hold the button, it lowers the windows. So something you can do with the key is hold both of these buttons together. That way you can disable the honk feature. See how they just flashed 3 times? Now when you lock the car, it doesn't honk. Now let's disable it. And that lets you know that the honk is activated. So these side skirts do look like they're 2-piece, but they are in fact a 1-piece side skirt. This might actually be the bare surface of the side skirt itself, and then just the white is painted. Another thing that some people don't know is the fact that this has these emergency prop mechanisms here. Whenever you're in an accident, you run over somebody by mistake, what this does is pop the aft side of the hood up. That way you can mitigate any head injury to the pedestrian when you run them over. So there's a way to put this car into a storage mode. So for you to put your car into storage mode, what you have to do is pull back on this white fuse retainer that's here. You can still start it, you can still move it and drive it. However, it will be in shipping mode on, you see? That way it can preserve battery while you are away for a long time. So a couple other little neat features here. You have traction control button, which you can turn off here, and that gives you the light. However, there is a second traction control. This is called VDC, and the other one is a stability control. And the way you find that is if you pull back on the pedal, there's a white button right here that you want to push up for 2 seconds. And now the stability control is completely off. So VDC operation is reduced when you have it in sport mode, but you can just completely turn it off by pushing this button. However, you still have the stability control, which that's that white button down there, and you completely turn off all traction control with this car. So it'll be a lot easier for you to get into an accident, and you can unlock all the potential of this car by turning off both of those traction controls. Now, this car does in fact have a pedal misapplication prevention system. Even though you turn off both of those traction controls, you still can't do a burnout. There is a way to do a burnout on this car. So that's gonna be one of my next videos, is how to do a proper burnout by disabling that pedal misapplication prevention system. Another thing that most people don't know is that the launch control only works with the engine coolant and transmission fluid between 140 degrees and 212. So you want to make sure that both of your temperatures are within the said range. That way, you know, when you're racing, you don't get caught slacking. And talking about launch control is only held for 6 seconds. So if it goes over 6 seconds that you're in launch control, it will disable itself. So this car does come with 3 mics, one there, one on the passenger side, and one in the middle. They detect the engine booming sounds, and then it sends back a muted booming sound through the speakers and the squawkers and the subwoofers. So that's basically your active enhancement sounds. That's that artificial sound that you hear coming through the speakers. You can find like a tweeter right underneath the dash here. This is another thing that some people may or may not know, but it says here since 1969. Which was the inception of the Nissan Z. One thing that most people don't know is that this Z, while in fact, yes, the big grille does provide more cooling, but that's not the reason why the charge temps are a little cooler. This car does come with a much larger heat exchanger compared to the one found in the Q50 and Q60. Another thing some people don't know is the fact that this VR30 is a little different. It is different because it comes with electronic bypass valves or diverter valves that are integrated into the turbo housings. And since we're talking about performance, I'd like to touch on the gauge pods here. So we know that we have boost, and we know that we have the voltage. So if you guys don't know yet, these turbos have turbo speed sensors in them, just like in the Red Sports. Everybody's always asking, why the hell did they put a turbo speed gauge if we have a boost gauge? Well, for those of you that haven't been in the VR30 community, there has been tuners that overspin these turbos to oblivion, and that's what causes these things to blow. So 250,000 RPMs is right where is like the max sweet spot that you want to push your stock turbos before they blow apart. I could be wrong, but I really believe Nissan put that there for the tuners and for the enthusiasts trying to really push this car. So being that this is a new shifter, and if you're not familiar with Nissan, I'm going to show you how to put this thing into neutral. To go into neutral from park, you have to depress the brake pedal, and without pushing that button, you want to go up and hold, and you will be in neutral. You want to do it from drive. What you have to do is push up without pushing the button. So that's the key. You don't have to push that button. So let's say you are in reverse. What you have to do is just pull back one notch into neutral. Another feature that most people don't know is that this car does not like to drive with the door open. With all these new sensors and all this crazy stuff, they really try to make this car feel a little safer to drive, so that way there's less injury. If you do, however, want to drive with the door open, for some reason you want to be looking out or testing something, what you have to do is keep your foot on the brake the entire time. The moment you take your foot off the brake, it'll put itself in park. So here's a pretty neat feature that I figured out. I think this may be a good feature to use whenever you are going to valet your car. So if you hold your traction button for about 10 seconds in this position, you completely lock it from turning back off. So it does disable when you turn off the car and turn it back on, so you can enable and disable it. But as you're approaching the valet, you can have that already turned off. That way they don't take it for a joyride and hit a tree. I'm going to show you a backdoor that Nissan uses to diagnose the systems of the vehicle and to enable and disable certain things. So what you want to do is make sure audio is off. You want to hold menu, scroll left, then scroll right, then scroll left, and you access your diagnostic menu. Those were a few secrets that you may or may have not known with the Nissan Z. If you like videos like this, make sure to hit the like button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.